Welcome back to Zodiac Bakes. I'm Chef Daddy James with Chicago Sugar Daddy Patisserie. And on this episode, we've got a special one for you. We're doing a combo of Taurus and Gemini. So let's have some fun in the kitchen and let Chef Daddy James teach you how to be a sugar daddy. Simple round cake. And since Taurus are known for their horoscope being represented by a bull, I'm thinking about doing, like a unicorn cake, but we're doing a bull cake. Wow, that was horrible. So I'm thinking we'll do horns on top. In honor of Gemini, who are known for having two personalities, we will do a bull face on either side, representing two different personalities of the bull. So since it's the same bull, the snout and the eyes would be similar to each other, but I'm thinking of being able to show it in two different personalities, is doing one in more of a darker side of colors and then the other in a lighter side, to also kind of represent like yin and yang, you know? You've got your good and your bad, and you're happy, you're sad. So for this guy, we're gonna do our infamous ube cake, but this time instead of doing it with a vanilla buttercream, I'm gonna do an ube buttercream. Just kind of change it up a little bit. Thinking, we're gonna do like nice dark colors on we'll call it the dark side and the light side. Of doing light airy colors on the light side and then the dark colors on the dark side. Because you can be one and have different parts of who you are. And I think that's kind of more of how, Geminis might be, because, there's so much more to us as individuals that it's just easier for Geminis to express their two different perceptions of who they are. More than one side to us. And with Geminis, it's just a little bit more natural for them. And then with, Taurus being bulls and being headstrong can both be a good thing and a bad thing, Building my cake, I'm getting a crumb coat on my cake, and I'm just smoothing out my cake to allow, when I'm ready to decorate it, to have a smoother surface to work with. So I'm just smoothing everything out, getting out air pockets, and just getting the cake looking pretty and gorgeous. Little buttercream hairs off the top of the cake, so that way we have a nice, clean, crisp edge to the top of the cake. We'll pop this guy into the freezer for about an hour. It'd be about 2 hours in the fridge, but we're gonna use the freezer so we can help speed up the process. And while this guy is setting up in the freezer, we'll get all of our other parts to get the cake going and decorations. One of the key things about working in a kitchen, whether it's a professional kitchen or your at-home kitchen, is always cleaning up as you go. Alright, so I'm going to start with the horns. The horns we're going to do some fondant, but I'm thinking I might do most of this cake out of buttercream instead of fondant like a lot of the other cakes. However, for the horns, definitely is going to be more to get the vibe that we're wanting and get the height. We're going to need to do it out of fondant. So, just needing the fondant and getting it all set and ready to go. An idea of how the horns would look like on the 6-inch, and then at the same time am able to use the styrofoam to hold up the horns. I'm going to use a combo of skewers, wire, to be able to give movement to the horns. Yeah, I'm going to cut the wire into strips, and then we're going to attach them to the skewers. Wrap it around it. See how we like the lengths. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take some floral tape. We're going to use it to, we're going to pull it and stretch it to help adhere the wire to the skewer. It'll allow us to stick the fondant better to the wire with it being covered in the floral tape, where the floral tape could absorb the liquid. It will also cover up the point on the wire so it doesn't cut through the fondant. Get our general horn shape put together. Push our wire through, feeling it as it's creeping through. Make sure that we do not poke through the fondant and that we can get to as much as to the top that we can. Roll it out. And then we're going to go ahead and use our styrofoam. We're going to insert our horn. Alright, so now we're going to add a little bit of texture into our horns. So we're just going to So for this part that I'm doing on the bottom of them, I'm just kind of pushing down on the fondant and pushing into the styrofoam. To give it a little bit of texture, but also to kind of give it a better flat surface when it's on the cake. Because this part will actually be covered by like the fur and the hair that will add on to it. And then for the other ones, I'm just kind of flicking up and dragging up and down just to give the horns some texture. We're going to go ahead and add some color. So I've got my gel food colorings here, and then I've got my high proof vodka to make it into a paint. And I'm just going to go over the horn with the base color of ivory, just to kind of give it a little bit of color to start with. And we're just going to work our way up with brown, taking a non-colored brush, dipping it in the vodka to help blend the two colors a little bit more into each other, so there's not just a distinguished line between them. And then I've got a little bit of black, just to give it a little bit more. Blending them and allowing them to bleed into each other. Whoop, that's a little strong there on that one. No worries. And a little bit more vodka, and brush the guy out. A little heavy on the black on the tips. Just kind of dab it out. And then just going over here a little bit just to kind of give it a little better blend. So now we're gonna work on our eyes and snout. So I'm just gonna get some pieces ripped off and together. I'm gonna go more for like an egg shape. And I'm shaping them both at the same time, so that way they are similar to one another. Personality, Taurus, Gemini, cake combo. I'm making 2 snouts because each side will have their own snout. Out a little bit towards the edges. I'm just going to come back in. Take my texture mat, which is kind of like a leather texture. Press it right onto the snout, onto the nose to give it a little bit of texture. Side, and let them start drying a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and work on our eyes. Pinching the edges, because I'm going to then wrap it with some more fondant to get the eyelids. They're not perfect, and that's okay. We'll pop them to the side real quick and let them dry up a little bit. And then we'll work on the actual body of the cake now. So, for the dark side, we're gonna do fur, and we're using buttercream as our base to do the decorating. And for the other side, I'm gonna do a very light ivory, just so that way it's not just white, but it's still light. We're gonna do it like an ivory creamy color. I've got my piping bag, and then I've got my grass tip that I'm going to use to do fur. I'm going to go ahead and just make a line so I know where the half mark is for the cake. Now we're going to start with our cream side. And I'm just going to use the tip to kind of give us a little bit of fur texture. So my tip for making sure you get smooth pipelines is making sure you just keep your tip clean. It helps, for me personally. Now that I've got my outline, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get my snout, my nose on that it sticks. And I'm just putting them in the fondant first so that I'm able to mark it. And then I'm just going to use another one and I'm just going to push it through so that I can just push toothpicks right into it. Push them in. Same concept, but we're going to do it with the eyes. I'm going to locate where we're going to put the eyes first. I'm going to do it right on the tip of the nostrils. Take our eyes. My blue one facing up a little bit because this is the happy joy side. Put on my fur. This one facing downwards to kind of give it a little bit more of a darker look. Repeat the process. Scissors or something to help grab the skewer. Pull it out. I'm just going to go ahead and place some into our bowl. The reason why I'm doing more on the top is to give the shape of the bowl, but they also have longer hair on their top. Same process, starting with our base layer. And we're just going to repeat the process, and we're going to do our layering with the fur to build it up on the top of the head. We kind of decided to do the combo to see kind of the challenge of combining the two horoscopes. Not every day somebody gets to do or create a two-headed bull. Okay, we're going to start on our light side and then use the same ivory creamy color that I did for the fur. Mix it with my high proof vodka. Add a little bit of color, kind of like highlighter. If you're on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini, give us a shout out. This cake's for you too, because you're a Taurus Gemini all in one. A little bit of pink. And give it a little bit more. Alright, we've got the pink. We'll go ahead and we don't want that much pink. Okay, we can work around it. Building up on each other. We're going to go ahead and move to our dark side and use black that we'll water down with our high proof vodka. Build up on itself. Oh, we can go ahead and work on our snout. Our nose. So I'm just going to go in with the same pinkish. Just repeat the process that I did on the other side. And I'm going to build up on that. For it. Then go in with some black. Very lightly watered down black. Back of the nostrils. purplish red. Here is our finished Taurus and Gemini combo cake. Let us know down below which is your favorite side, and like and subscribe.